I mean, not only 8 rebounds, like well below his average, but only 3 offensive rebounds. He hurt us on some post ups, some late rolls, some dump offs, that kind of stuff. Knocked down his free throws when he went to the line to contribute to that 23. But and even though it was efficient, I thought he had to earn a lot of them. For us, I thought the execution of the game plan on the ball, going under pick and roll to try to level it out, to keep them from getting downhill and attacking our bigs, and then puts our bigs in a bind with having to contest. And if they don't make it, they decide to dump off. It's tough. He's a big guy. He sets physical screens. He gets out to the rim pretty quick. He's athletic. Where if you give him that kind of 2-on-1.5 look and pick and roll, they're pretty good. It puts a lot of stress on you with those crackdowns and veers into the bigs, and it's he's a load. Where the unders at the point of attack are shift activity off the ball to really try to limit that initial penetration and slow him down. I thought we had a couple good peels, again to limit that out of those shifts. And then the zone really helped us. It just gave us a different look. It kind of took him out of their traditional offense with him playing out of flash game with all the splits and DHOs and pick and roll where he's rolling, and he's just kind of working the dunker out of the way. That definitely broke up their rhythm a bit, but also just kind of changed his game, limited his game in terms of what he's comfortable doing or how they're used to playing. So kind of a combination of execution of the game plan by our guys, all those guys, JD, DJ, Drew, Tone, all the way down the line, all the guards that were defending in pick and roll, executing that game plan, and then the zone, just kind of changing that rhythm, giving them a different look, taking them out of their normal stuff. Hopefully he's an elite off-ball shooter, spacer, movement shooter, just really smart player. Knows how to play the game, knows what his skill set is, what his role is, and executes it at a high level. 3 for 6 tonight. Had a couple, halfway down and rim out that they're late third quarter that really could have helped stretch the lead. But high IQ player on both ends. A pro, great guy, great fit for the locker room. But definitely the shooting piece for him is his greatest strength, his greatest weapon, and then just what that does for our spacing when he's off the ball or when he's in actions, and we can run him off some pin downs and flares and put him in splits and stagger DHOs, all that stuff. I thought he made some really good passing reads tonight. Only ended up with 1 assist, it looks like, but I think he had hit one to Kyler. Kyler made one more, had a couple hockey assists, just nice reads against their bigs being up. Whereas he's played enough, and he's just inherently a smart player, always has been. That there's nothing that really surprises him. He knows how to execute, and really a good fit in terms of our coverage solutions, how we want to attack certain defenses, how we want to attack how teams are guarding us. Just a really complete player. The last couple games, I personally didn't do a good enough job getting him involved, getting him touches, and just kind of the way Motor City guarded us. Where he was just spacing, and they really weren't helping at all. Where it was just, if I'm not calling plays for him, he's not getting touches. So tonight, just tried to be more intentional with putting the ball in his hands. We felt like our best offense was playing off splits, playing off staggered DHOs, and especially him and DJ had a little run there, where just executing versus switching, executing versus maintaining. They just had a really good rhythm where we just felt like, with that off ball into a handoff action, we can get gain an advantage, get them off the body, and allow him to play. And he's obviously so tall, getting him to his right hand as much as we can, where he's most comfortable, and then his vision, he can see, he can make every pass. As I mimic him picking it up with one hand, which drives me crazy. But he can make with his size, his vision, his passing ability, he can make all those passes to the roll, to the lift, to the second side. I thought he was 9 assists. He was kind of dicing them up, diming them up. They started inching out, and especially late, started just realize and recognize he could get all the way downhill and get to the cup and finish. But for him, really the minutes thing was he was rolling in the third quarter, so we just kind of stuck with him. And then we went back to his normal rotation where he was starting the fourth, and felt kind of game got a little tight there. It was just let him roll, play the whole quarter. and he obviously was a big piece of it down the stretch. We'll see. This is kind of like as far as Walsh not being here, that's part of it. For this stretch, like DJ's been, I have to commend him, like the ultimate pro. Starting, coming off the bench, sub pattern changing. I mean, his minutes are his minutes. He's usually going to be in those mid to upper 30s. But we try to stagger those guys, make sure JD and DJ are playing together, JD and Drew are playing together, DJ and Drew are playing together. Making sure we have complementary pieces around them in terms of shooting and defenders and spacing. Where it manifested a little bit differently tonight with DJ starting, but for the most part they're typically one way or the other. They're going to play 4 or 5 minutes every quarter overlapping, and then obviously you get to the fourth and it might be a lot more than that depending on what the game dictates. I mean, he's the OG. He's our leader. He's who the guys look to. He's that calming voice. Early on down 10-2. Ended up, ballooning to a 17-point lead there in the first quarter, and it's like Tony's the guy, keeping everybody even keeled, stay up. And then I thought, I mean, he was fantastic defensively tonight. Like what he did off the ball, with his execution of like his shift activity, being there for his teammates, inching out to shooters, coming down and cracking down when they shot it and our bigs went to contest, like tipping out rebounds, man and zone, inbounds, like his active hands. He had he had 3 steals, but ended up, he had 4 or 5 other deflections, that either, they came up with or went out of bounds, whatever it was. I think, and then the guys look to that, and it's like you see Tony Snell out here doing it, like his mindset, his focus, the execution, doing it, and then just like the energy that he's playing with, it's really contagious. I thought that lifted us like a ton, especially in the second half. But he really start of the second quarter was really where I thought it picked up, and it just continued. Obviously played about 15 minutes the rest of the way after that first quarter and 3 25-point quarters, but that it really, to me, it really started with Tony.